Hi, my name's Angie, and in this video we are going to do a quick and easy layout with the Border Maker system and a knockout style cartridge. We'll talk about the difference of the different cartridges in just a moment. Let me switch over to my desktop view. And this is an example of a layout that I've already done. This one was using the Celestial Delights, I think it was, from the most recent secret box. We are going to need one sheet of designer paper, some scrap strips to put behind the punched image, some paper for mats or use some of your mat packs, and some embellishments. So not a lot of stuff that you need to get this going. Now, again, we're going to need a knockout style punch. For this one, I had used the Dancing Stars. And what you want to take note of is, if I get this on camera so you can see, is that there is gray or silver on the images on both sides of the images. It's just knocking out just the cutouts. On this side, it's a little bit easier to see too. There is nothing, this is all connected on each sides. The metal is connected on each sides of the cartridge, as opposed to this one, which is a chain style. It's going to cut away from the paper. And this Border Maker cartridge, which is an edge style, it's going to connect on one side and be disconnected on the other. So for this layout, we need it to be connected on both sides, so it just knocks out some of the pieces here. For this layout, I had used the Dancing Stars, again from the most recent secret box from first quarter of 2025. For my example layout that we're going to walk through, I'm using the chevron arrows. This really is one of my favorites. And again, it's connected on both sides. It's just going to knock out these chevron arrows throughout the border there. So we'll set this layout aside and we'll get a piece of paper. And I did make some notes here. I just wanted to kind of remind myself because this one has a little bit of a direction with the compasses being north and south. So I just wanted to make sure which side I did 3 inches and which side I did 2. This paper, there's no direction to the stars, so really I could have this go any way. Again, for this one, I want to do the same layout as this, with it a little bit closer up here, a little bit farther away over here, and have some photos. And I wanted to remember which way my paper was going. So I made some notes. So I'm going to first measure in 3 inches and score. So we've got our trimmer. We're going to change out to our scoring blade, and do remember to double check your mat strip here. If it is too worn on your cut line, you will probably want to rotate your strip or grab a new one. If it's too worn, it's not a blade, but the part for the scoring blade might push through and cut your paper. So if you doubt, like I didn't think my cut blade or my cut line was too worn, but I did go ahead and change it anyways, just in case, to make sure it didn't cut through. So again, for this, I am going to do first measure at 3 and score. We can set our trimmer aside for a second, and we're just going to fold on that score line that we just did and load it into our Border Maker system. And for this one, we are going to punch all the way down. And for this layout, you're going to want to use a designer type paper, a lighter paper. Do not use cardstock, because since we are folding it over, the cardstock would be too thick by the time you fold it over to be able to punch through your paper. And since we are punching through 2 sheets of paper, just take a little bit more time as you are punching, just in case there's anything snagging or where it is a little bit harder to punch through. But we are going to punch on through all the spots on this one. Move all that out of the way. And now we take our paper out. And there is one portion of it. And now we're going to measure at 2 inches on this one. So we're going to load it back into our trimmer. And this time at 2 inches. And we will score. Set that aside. And again, we can fold this one. And this little piece, I'm going to do it down so that my piece is kind of held together there. And I have a preference that I like my arrows to go like kind of like you're reading a book from left to right. So I just want to make sure as I'm loading this in and the way my arrows are going in the cartridge, it's going to go the way I want. So that's good. So again, I'm going to have the flat part down so that it's kind of being held together. Otherwise, if you do it up top, it works too. It just might flap around because it's a little bit short and doesn't quite fit underneath. But if you do it underneath, it's kind of held together there. Okay, so now for this part, we are going to punch in the first slot. We're going to skip this one and continue punching. And pull that to the side and get our paper out. And that is all the hard work done. So there you have an idea, an image of what our paper is going to look like already. And then you just want to take some scrap paper or cardstock, another sheet of like tonal paper. In this case, I had grabbed beige, and I do like that. I wasn't sure at first if it would be contrasting enough, but I think it looks great. And what we're going to want to do for this Border Maker cartridge, I could just do 2 inches, and that would be enough to back my punched out images here. So I'm going to trim, take out our scoring blade, put our straight blade back in, and I'm going to trim this at 2 inches. And I think then I've got just a little bit more than 2 inches for the other one, and that will work out perfect. I'm going to grab my silicone mat and use my repositional adhesive and just back this. And I'm going to take one of my strips that we just cut and put it on the back of our punched image. And you can see my cardstock is just a little bit longer than my paper, but that is no problem. We can trim that up, get rid of the excess glue, and turn it and do the same thing. If you wanted to be creative, I guess you could use some different colors behind your punched images, if that's something that you would want to do. And you can just get that little excess. And there is our page so far. So let's trim that little bit that's a little bit longer. I do tend to find that cardstock sometimes is a little bit longer than the designer paper, and that's okay. The companies that Creator paper have a little bit of wiggle room. They have an eighth of an inch kind of either way that they could do the paper. So I think it's better that it's longer. Okay, so there is our page. And for this one, I had done two 4x6 mats, and then you could do a picture in there. So for this, I think I will just grab some more beige and trim that down to 4x6 again. And for this particular layer, I don't have pictures yet in mind for it. So you could obviously do some other types of photos here. You could do some square photos. And I grabbed just some random embellishments. Kind of put the globe, that, maybe journaling over here. Something like that, and just kind of centering the photos. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, personally, I would actually probably use a different color mat just to make it pop a little bit more than that. But again, since I don't have my images right yet, that's kind of it. And again, this one, I'm thinking of doing this for my kid's trip that he just took recently. I might do another page. And if I were to do another page for this, like a accompanying page, I would probably, and this isn't correct, I would probably do the 2 inches again at the top and the 3 inches along the side to have it kind of framing the photos with the photos kind of in the center here. Again, just more of a mirror image of what this first page is. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this really super quick and easy layout. If you give it a try, share it. You can share it in my Facebook group, Angie Scrapbooks. If you're not a member, ask to join. But yeah, I hope you give this easy layout a try and enjoy.